I don't know about you guys, but how about we turn off this noise and stop talking about politics and just watch Rodney Dangerfield all night? Dave Sussman here at Real Side Radio. We're on Facebook on our website, therealside.com, and of course, we are across the fruited plain at 52 stations on the Salem Radio and GCN Radio networks. And you can always give us a phone call in here at 855-732-5563. And as I promised, I teased you guys that we were going to have the Michael Loftus from the Loftus Party come in and basically share with us what the heck is going on in the outside real world as we're sitting here at Real Side. Michael, how are you, my friend?
I am good, man. I'm good. I'm in politics overload. What a day. Between the impeachment and then the Democratic, the Democrat, I'm not going to call it the Democrat debate. It's just been, we're in a 24-hour garbage news cycle.
Oh, it's insane.
Just dreams and lollipop.
It's insane. Michael Loftus, you could find on Twitter at the Loftus Party, and I believe that is also the loftusparty.com. Michael, you are on Fox News all the time. I've watched you on TheFive, and you're on Fox Nation. You're a stand-up comic, and you're working on behind the scenes on some pretty exciting stuff for Hollywood as well. Give me your impression of what you saw tonight for those of us that weren't lucky enough to sit through that miserable debate.
I tried to watch as much as I could, but it's identity politics at its finest. Like they didn't speak to me, but I tell you what, if you're Hawaiian, they have a plan. If you're Asian, they have a plan. If you're a one-eyed paraplegic pirate, they have a plan. They don't have a plan for the rest of us. But every little tiny little sliver of minority, you're the victim of a gross injustice, and we have to figure this out. They have no ideas. They hate Trump, and it's craziness, man. I don't know what their plan is.
We were checking in periodically tonight as we were talking through impeachment and everything else that's going on in the real world, and it looked like Tulsi Gabbard was taking a lot of incoming. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looked like they were coming after Tulsi pretty good. Just knowing that, I think that they're realizing that she's the one who's appealing to moderate Democrats and maybe the never Trumpers as well. But then Tulsi, they just did their closing statements, and Tulsi did this really bizarre close where she's like, Dr. Martin Luther King visited Hawaii in 1956, and then it turned into a little ad for Hawaii and the spirit of aloha. And my vote said aloha to Tulsi. It means hello and goodbye.
And goodbye. It's like shalom, right? It's one of those interchangeable words. Let me ask you, just from the perspective of taking a look at the field, and I know there's some candidates that didn't make the cut tonight, so I think there's still something like 18 or 19 people that are out there that want to be president. But this is not the Democratic Party of our fathers, or even our distant cousins from 5 years ago. What's happened to the left, and how did they just take over in such a forceful way that they've done in the past 3 years?
Well, it's really, I think it's a combination of things. It's the schools and their failure to teach how our country works, to teach basic civics, and their failure to teach history. Most kids don't know about how many millions of people died in China during the Communist Revolution. They don't know about the millions of people that Stalin killed. They don't know that socialism has a history of failing. And then you've got that. Then they come out of college and they've got a mountain of debt and a degree that they can't use. So it's like the perfect storm of BS right now. You've got a stage full of people who hey, you know what? Don't worry about that student loan. We're going to pay that off. And you know what? The government's going to do a great job by taking care of you, and we're going to give you all, Medicare for all, and the more power that the government has, it's all good. Socialism's fantastic. Yeah. It's madness. It's not based in reality. And then you throw in the straw villain of Donald Trump, Orange Man Bad, elect me, and I'm going to stop him. And it's just it's really the perfect storm of BS.
Yeah.
I almost feel bad for these. I really do. I almost feel bad for the people who watch MSNBC every day, and they're watching a different movie than the rest of the country.
Yes, it's a different reality. And a lot of that stems.
Depressing.
Yeah, a lot of that stems from our higher educational institutions, and they're spitting out these gender studies degrees, and they're going out to, they're now working in corporate America. But you're a stand-up comedian, and I just saw No Safe Spaces last week, and I met with the cast and Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla, Dave Rubin, and all those guys. And I got to ask you, from a standpoint of being a stand-up comedian, in our last couple of minutes before our first break here, I'll let you answer quickly. What's that been like for you? Are you feeling that there's been a freeze on your ability to be a stand-up comic? And do you go to college campuses?
Oh, dude, I haven't done college campuses in years. I did. I was in Omaha, somewhere like Nebraska or South Dakota or something. And whatever, it's a long story, but there was a lunch lady who had a very thick German accent, and I thought it was hilarious. So I opened up my set with doing an impression of the German lunch lady, and I'm like, well, I bet everybody pays for their lunch here. No one's going to tell her she's wrong. And I did a very lightly, made a joke about a Nazi, right? And I got complaints, and they're like, "How dare you assume that woman's a Nazi?" And I'm like, "Okay,
wow.
I'm done. I'm done with colleges. I'm done." And you can't when you can't make fun of Nazis, dude. You got a problem.
Wow,
you got a big problem.
That's really scary.
So that's why it's with Prager and Carolla. God bless those guys.
Yeah.
I hear that movie's fantastic. But with those, I've been doing political comedy coast to coast for years now. To them, I'm like, "Hey, welcome aboard." Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we're just coming into our commercial break here. Where can folks find you? You said you got a stand-up coming up on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Chicago Improv doing my Freedom to Laugh tour, and it's going to be a special for Fox Nation. It's going to be their very first all-comedy show on Fox Nation. I'm like Neil Armstrong, landing on the moon, my man.
Yeah, they let the eagle land, my friend. That's really exciting. Good for you.
The Eagle of Liberty is landing at Fox Nation.
We got Michael Loftus. He's calling us from the East Coast. You're up late tonight because he's working on all sorts of things, and we're going to talk politics and impeachment after the break here. Dave Sussman here at Real Side Radio, and again, don't forget to follow Michael at the Loftus Party on Twitter. I'm at David Sussman. We'll be right back after the break. We are 2.5 into our 3 hours. It just flies by, Cody. I don't know how, you know what? And I did 2 hours of TV, and I can keep going all day, especially when you have guests like Michael Loftus, who's just, we were just during the break, we were just talking about movies and having fun. And hate to do this to you, Michael. And Michael Loftus, you can find him at theloftusparty.com as well as on Twitter. And you can find him all over the place. Fox Nation, Fox News, on TheFive, and everywhere else, and we'll give you a chance to find out where he's playing next weekend in Chicago Improv, I believe, Sunday night. And Michael, let me ask you, I want to get serious here for a minute. Yesterday, if you watch the mainstream news, Vindman's testimony was devastating for Republicans.
Dude, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, okay? Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
You just earned your keep right there. That's it. See, that's how quick he is. What was that? To Nunez, right? That was to Nunez.
What a giant douche. That's the guy who gets fragged by his own men in Vietnam.
Dude, the guy got offered to become defense secretary or secretary of defense for Ukraine. Not once, not twice, but thrice. What is that?
Yeah.
How do they...
I swear to God. How, like, they know you're in the U.S. military, right?
Yeah.
You wear your uniform to work, you've already got a gig. You work for Uncle Sam. They offered him that job 3 times. That's a dude who's talking a lot of smack around the water cooler.
Yeah, he really is.
You know, I really don't like it here. I'm putting out feelers everywhere. I'm international corruption LinkedIn.
I've been in that group. It's pretty ugly. So, okay, you got Vindman yesterday. The media make it sound like he's the hero for the left. Today, Ambassador Sondland's morning, it was so bad for the right. It was so bad for Trump that that Schiff actually took a break and went out and told the media what to say, and they went out and said it. And now, obviously, if you take a look at the actual transcript or if you watch the thing today, Sondland admits he has no evidence Trump tied Ukraine military aid to investigations other than his own presumption. There's nothing there. But if you watch the media, Mike, if you watch the media, it's days of Rome, falling Rome for President Trump. How are we living in these two different realities today?
I tell you, it is like that thing on the internet. Do you see a blue dress or a gold dress? Do you see this, that? Do you hear this or that? It is crazy. And this is, I have a YouTube channel, the Loftus Party, and I did a video about this very thing. And I think most people who are watching this, they realize this has nothing to do with the Constitution or really impeaching a president, and has everything to do with keeping that pressure on. It's their only hope of winning 2020. They're trying to get the swing voters, suburban women. They're trying to get the people who don't pay that much attention to politics. And it's like, hey, everybody in the office says Trump is a criminal. Everybody on CNN says he's a criminal. Everyone on MSNBC says he's a criminal. Ergo, he must be a criminal. It is really the last. If the media can pull this off, if the media and the Democrats can pull off this trick, they've had Russia collusion, he's a traitor, he's a Russian spy, and now it's impeachment and quid pro quo, and there's nothing there. Boy, if they can pull this off, I really fear for our republic, because it's a giant magic act. It's the biggest con job we've ever seen in our nation's history.
We know this. Many people that we're friends with know this. But does the public know this? Because if you step outside of our, and we're all in our own echo chambers today, left, right, in whatever it may be, you step outside of our echo chamber, and people are either one of two things, in my opinion. They're either ambivalent, they just don't care, and they're just living their life, or they're like really uncomfortable with this president. And it's like, yeah, he must have done something wrong. Okay, what did he do wrong? I'm not smart enough to tell you, but obviously he did. They wouldn't be impeaching him otherwise. And that's what the left and Schiff and all these guys are hoping to basically use this sledgehammer on the American public. And the media are complicit, Mike. They are complicit. They are carrying the left's water, and it's by hook or crook.
And that is the really scary part. It's like watching Pravda. It's like watching official state television. Well, now that I'm in New York and I'm writing on this other show and I'm on this East Coast time zone, I'm able to watch, Fox and Friends, and then I can flip it back and watch Morning Joe, just to get a flavor of what everybody's saying. And dude, the stuff they're saying on Morning Joe and the stuff they're saying on CNN is terrifying. And Joe Scarborough's not an idiot. He's really not.
He was a Republican.
He's a politically... Exactly. And he is cherry-picking quotes, and they're taking things out of context, and they know it. And so you're like, wow, this has nothing to do about truth, but has everything to do about winning over hearts and minds. And that's when it's like living in the Matrix. It is. It's like living in the Matrix. And that's where you get the whole phrase, he got red pilled, right, or he got woke or whatever. But man, it's disturbing. And that's why, but seriously, it's why I think they're trying to isolate conservatives. They're trying to make us feel lonely. Ooh, I better not talk about politics here because everybody hates Trump. Maybe I'm the weirdo because I like small government. Maybe I'm the weirdo because I have faith in my fellow man and I don't have faith in some big giant federal bureaucracy. That's why I'm doing these Freedom to Laugh shows. I want these people on the right to be able to come out for an evening of entertainment, look and laugh at this stuff, make fun of these people, make fun of their goofball ideas in a giant room full of people who are like-minded. And it's such an awesome feeling when I'm meeting people after the show and they're like, I've never had a better time at a comedy club this was great, and I'm not alone.
Yeah.
There's a ton of us. A ton of people voted for Donald Trump. A ton. And his policies, you might not like his tweets. I love his tweets. But some people, they might not like his tone. They might not like the way he says it. But when it comes down to policies, he is crushing it. He is crushing it, and the country's thriving. It's just, and that's the other thing. Like, why would the Democrats want to stop the success of this country? They just realize they're losing control. And unfortunately, I think you've got some so-called conservatives that are helping him out because, he's upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah, he's changing. I mean, the problem is it isn't so much the politicians. We can choose not to elect a politician. It's the deep state. And I think people are finally waking up and seeing these careerists that's being paraded in front of Congress, and they've been there for 10, 20, 30 years. They are the ones that are determining whether or not the president's policies should be enacted or not. This is the really scary thing. By the way, real quickly, again, because we got a couple minutes here, if you're in the Midwest or you want to fly to Chicago, folks, where can they find you this weekend?
The Chicago Improv, Freedom to Laugh Tour, Chicago Improv, Sunday night show is at 7. There will be a camera crew there because we're taping this thing for Fox Nation. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be a big show.
That's exciting, and I'm excited also to be working with you on another project to be announced soon. And we've got some alternative. Listen, folks, we got to fight back here, and folks like Michael and the Loftus Party, and what we're doing here, and what I'm doing at America's Voice News. This is the only way we can fight back. It's about winning hearts and minds, and comedy is the best way of all, Michael. I mean, I got to tell you, you're a funny guy. You're very popular on Fox News, and I'm looking forward to seeing great things happen with you as you continue to build your portfolio of.
I'm having fun, dude.
Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting. Folks can find you also where? LoftusParty.com?
Yeah, the LoftusParty.com, and that's an open forum. That's an open forum. It's like a huge, beautiful, gorgeous message board. If you've got a cool restaurant, if you've got a cool business, just post it up there. Post it up. It's like a Facebook, but you don't get kicked off or throttled.
You don't get throttled or kicked off? You don't get censured if you say a bad thing about a Democrat?
It's crazy like that.
That is
Freedom
weird.
Of speech. Who'da thunk it?
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, I greatly appreciate, first of all, you're on East Coast, and I know you're working on a show, so I greatly appreciate you staying up late. When you're back, let's get together. We're going to be working on this other project thing together, which we hope to announce soon. And looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing you just continue to skyrocket with everything that you're doing, because culture, we know this. Andrew Breitbart said it, right? Politics is downstream from culture. If you win the hearts and minds doing what you're doing, making people laugh, Michael Loftus, the world is a better place, and people will learn some better ideas than they're learning from the mainstream media. So greatly appreciate it. God bless, my friend, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you next week.
All right, take care. All right, Michael. And Dave, I will be back here at David Sussman on Twitter and America's Voice News Daily on America's Voice Live. I'll be back with wrapping it up in the final third hour here at Real Side Radio. Don't go away, folks.
How would you like to hit the